Welcome. I'm Tilly, and we are here to take a quick glance at December 2022. So, we will start with the numerology. December is the 12th month of the year, therefore, it holds a 12 energy. So, we can look at the 12 in numerology. You break it down to a single digit. So, you do that by adding the numbers together. 1 plus 2 is a 3. So, essentially, December is a 3 energy. So, the 12 energy is about understanding what we have control over, maybe giving up control in certain areas of our life, coming to an understanding of what we do not have control over. It's about being in the moment. It could be to surrender to something. Maybe we've been allowing our ego to lead us astray, and it's time to get real and it's time to get true to ourselves. And so we could understand where we need to surrender in life, make a compromise in life, and always for a win win situation. Okay, we don't compromise a part of ourselves away ever. The 3 energy is more about the seed, of planting the seed. It's our creativity, it's our connection to nature, to the earth, being grounded and working on finding that inner balance and creating that inner balance through our creativity, through our passions, our dreams, our desires to bring in new things into our lives. Now we take the 12 energy or the 3 energy and we add it to 2022, which is the year energy. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 is a 6. So that brings in an overall energy of our health, our well-being, our day-to-day routines. And probably if you look back throughout the entire year of 2022, your routine is probably very different than it was at the beginning of the year. We've added things, we've taken things away in order to be more productive, in order to be more successful, in order to have more time or energy or resources. So we add the 3 plus the 6, and that gives us a 9 energy. So the 9 energy is really about completions, endings, clearing the clutter from the beginning of the path so there's no trip hazards. Okay, we are ending things and we are completing things, but it's in order to allow the new things space, whether it is a new influx of your time schedule, your day to day, and the time that you have for all of your activities and yourself. It could be about your energy levels and your vitality. And if you do certain things, getting up earlier in the morning, going to bed earlier at night, or other things in between, have helped you to raise your vitality, raise your energy, so that you have more energy to focus on the things that you want to create, what you want to bring into, what you want to, make into reality. And it's all about the heart centered humanitarian. So we look with empathy, we look with compassion on how we can make a better world. It's about gaining and cultivating wisdom. It's about learning about something and using that information in a very productive way to be the true humanitarian in the world. Now we'll look a little bit at the astrology. We start, well, first of all, before we even start anything, Mars is in retrograde the whole month in Gemini, so life is under construction. Mars is our warrior that is going forward. He's raising his sword and he's yelling charge, and right now that is not a good thing to do in our lives. It's more about seeing where we have the new beginnings, the new starts in our lives, and adding to that, expanding that, seeing where we've missed steps. It could be about our communication and how we are communicating. Are we texting all the time? Are we ignoring texts? Are we following up on our emails? Are we letting that slide? What are we trying to talk to the world about, and what words are we using? What are we thinking about? What are our thoughts? And growing our thoughts. It could be a lot too about things that we need to learn. things that are missing in order to really, it's one of the keys to our success is having that knowledge, having that wisdom. We start out, of course, with the sun in Sagittarius, and the energy is just beautiful for that because we are optimistic, we are strong, and we will have that for the first half of the month till the 21st, 22nd of December, when the sun will move into Capricorn, when the sun will go in order so we don't get it mixed up in our heads later on, okay? The second thing that happens on December the 4th, Neptune goes stationary direct. And it's almost like at the stroke of midnight or something for where I live. I'm not sure about where you live, but it's almost at the stroke of midnight. So give an hour or two this way or that way. Unless, of course, you're in Australia, then you do a lot of hours. So one of my favorite retrogrades actually is the Neptune retrograde, because sometimes we go forward and we have this rainbow, we have these dreams, we have these fantasies, and we grow those dreams, we grow those fantasies, and of course that's all beautiful and wonderful, but we kind of expand it into almost like a fantasy land instead of something that we can actually put our teeth into, tangibly create in our lives. So we have been going through this deep conversation with ourselves to understand ourselves a little bit more, how we create love in our life, how we create happiness in our life, how we create joy, dancing and singing, how we let our inner expression out, how we utilize our creativity in order to make our lives better, the world better, our tribe, our family, our environment, our community, the world at large. On December the 7th, Mercury goes into Capricorn. So our thoughts, Capricorn, Mercury is about our voice, our thoughts, how we are communicating, what we are communicating. And Capricorn is the strategy, the making of the plan. It's about our responsibilities, our obligations. So there's, I would believe, a little bit more energy of force towards moving ourselves purposely on our path when Mercury goes into Capricorn, which will retrograde in Capricorn as well. We'll get to that when the time is right. December the 8th, we have a full moon in Gemini. It will be at 16 degrees, so it'll be awakenings. It could be about negotiations and bringing things to light. It could be about different contracts that we have. Maybe the written contracts or just soul-to-soul contracts with our friends, our family, our neighbors, our co-workers. And how we deal with people, how we talk to people. So there is a very large energy throughout the beginning of December about our voice, right? And how we are utilizing our words, how we are proclaiming our message is what I hear. December the 10th, Venus will follow Mercury into Capricorn. And so it's about following our passions consistently. It's about really, superficiality will not fly too well with Venus and a Capricorn energy. But it does make us very grounded in what we love and what we have passion for. And devising plans, strategies towards moving towards and moving towards making our desires, our dreams, our reality, right? Our best life ever. And creating that one step at a time. December the 20th, so we got about 10 days of just like minor energy, and then December the 20th, Jupiter will enter Aries. So as we know, the beginning of November, it moved back into Pisces, and then it's moved all the way back into Pisces, and then it's moved all the way to Aries again, where it will stay, I think, until about May of next year. So it is, that opportunity for self-development and growth. And where do we want the expansion of who we are as an individual, as an independent soul? What do we want to transform? What do we want to make more beautiful in our life? Where do we want to create the joy and happiness and the growth in our lives personally? So it's a really strong I am energy that we will be entering. So wonderful for us. December the 21st, the sun will enter Capricorn. So we go from being the optimist that is searching for knowledge and wisdom and clarity and spirituality and traveling to, let's get to work. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's start doing. So, and we become very determined. There's this determination, there's this resilience about us when all this energy, the sun and the moon and Venus and Mercury are all there. And let's not forget that Pluto is still hanging out there. So all of that energy combined, I mean, let the Capricorn party begin, for goodness sakes. So much intense energy to really get motivated into driving ourselves forward in the way that we want, in what we want to bring in and what we want to create. And the sun moving into Capricorn, of course, marks the winter solstice. December the 23rd, we will have a new moon in Capricorn at 1 degree. So that's really exciting because we just had a December new moon, right? At 1 degrees. And we know a little bit about what that's going to do for new beginnings and new starts and stepping into the brand new and creating the plan and the strategy will all be part of it. Okay, let's go to the cards. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah. Then on the 29th, Mercury goes stationary retrograde in Capricorn. So all I can say for you is get your paperwork in line and everything so that as we go into the new year, all your finances are taken care of, contracts, stuff like that. And then you can just kick back and relax and enjoy the energy of the new year coming in. And so with any retrograde, but more so with Mercury, it's our thoughts, it's our words. You know, we have to be careful with our words. We'll write an email to somebody and we'll send it off, and we've missed like 5 main points in there. And we didn't even realize it at the time. And now you got to send a follow-up email. And now you look very unprofessional and blah, blah, blah. On goes, the circle getting bigger and bigger, that snowball going down the hill. So you want to, proofread and have somebody else proofread. Because sometimes in our minds, we omit words and sentences and ideas because we already have the knowledge in our head and we forget to transpose that into. So just be careful. If you're sending a text message, it could be read in a different light than how you sent it, and it might be thrown out of context and cause all kinds of little dramas that you didn't need. So but it is about recharging ourselves. It is about taking a step back and visiting some of the stuff that we were attending to and gaining knowledge. So what happens with Mercury retrogrades is it's beautiful, and we should celebrate the fact. Everybody talks bad about a Mercury retrograde. I know I am always on the short end of the stick when it comes to dealing with Mercury retrogrades. And if you're a longtime viewer, you're well aware of that. Everything goes, my monitors go, my keyboard goes, my camera goes, my mic goes, my printer goes. Not all at the same time, mind you. My phone will go, my car will mess up with the computer even. Oh my goodness, I'm just wired that way, I guess. Some of us could, so lucky you could just be me, right? Anyways, Mercury retrogrades actually allows us to walk through something, experience something, go back through, look at it again, understand a little bit more about it, and then coming through with a vengeance and really taking off with it if we utilize the energy correctly. So it could be plans that we're putting in place, things that we, contracts that we do want to sign. Maybe we do want to buy a house or a car or do something with our finances or with our energy or with our time, for goodness sakes. And we want to put things into place. It's a beautiful time to kind of get a running start, but not get too heavily involved in what you're doing, knowing that you're going to be walking through it again, picking up some knowledge, and then wow, does the clarity and the knowledge come into play as we walk back through that energy. So I know it's hard to walk through, trust me. But sometimes, I think I had two Mercury retrogrades in the last year that were kind of like, hey, I survived that without any real big hiccups. But then there's other ones I could tell you 10 days in advance when it's going to be, just by what's happening in my life. So we'll ring in the new year with a Mercury retrograde. So utilize it so that it works for you, that it takes you another step closer to your best life ever. Absolutely. Okay. Let's get the cards cut here. And so our shadow card for the entire month, the underlying energy that we will be feeling throughout the entire month, look at this, is happiness, is joy. It's getting together with loved ones. I always call this guy the knight in shining armor. He comes and he whisks you away, and he finds this bubbling brook and ties the horse up to the apple tree and throws down a blanket and pulls out a picnic. And you just spend the day growing the relationship, loving each other, seeing the best qualities of each other, creating joy and happiness and giggles and laughter. I mean, that's what this card is all about. So regardless of if you have somebody there in the present, or maybe they're just, a past loved one that you'd like to hang out with, and you're sitting there and you just spend some time with them, talking to them, trust me, they hear you, okay? So when you think you're talking to nobody, you are talking to them, and they'd love for you to hear them. The vibrations are different, and most of us just aren't in tune for that vibration. It's just like a muscle, though. You just have to work it. Anyways, the Knight of Cups. So it is about enjoying yourself. It is about celebrating the gift of friends, family, loved ones, neighbors, co-workers, the collective, right? So there you are with the heart-centered humanitarian for the month of December. I was going to say November, but November is almost over here. We're at the time of the recording. Okay, our first card is, look at this, the Death card. The Death card. We are changing our perceptions. We are, we understand that, and over the last couple of years, in one way or another, we all devised this cloak, right? And we all had weapons, and it's, and not physically or literally weapons, but we all, we were all armed. We were in armor. We had cloaks over us. We were hiding. We didn't trust people. We didn't want to get close to people. We were scared when we went out, especially if there was more than another person there. It was just kind of like, hi, how you doing? And so we all have these cloaks, and we built up defenses towards it, and it kept us safe in a time when we needed to stay safe. But there's a point when staying there for too long, okay, goes against everything it is about being human, about being that social person that requires love and hugs and support. So it's about removing that cloak throughout the month of December. And I know there are things popping up here and there, and I hear it. But at the same time, we can be safe. We've learned how to be safe, right? We've learned what part of that cloak we still need to maintain. But it's about allowing your inner child to come out. So this is very much that 3 energy. So the 12 energy, we're kind of sitting there and we're thinking about how closed off we are and how we need to open ourselves up. Our inner child sits there in waited anticipation, wanting us to run, to set ourselves on fire, to blast off. I see a rocket ship going towards the stars. So it's like blast off. Our inner child is just waiting for us to take that risk on ourselves and step in the direction of our dreams, our goals, our desires. An educated risk, mind you, because of the 12 energy. We need to pull back and really think things through and understand it. Anyways, and here we are in the transformation that we can actually obtain throughout the month of December, in feeling that freedom and feeling that liberation and feeling alive again and loved again and supported and being supported. So really the heart-centered humanitarian for the month of December is going to play very big in our lives. Where's the deck? Here we are. Okay, the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. I love the Page of Swords, but she's a little too spontaneous for me. So be a little careful, just don't, it's kind of like we just want things to happen. We're tired of waiting. We're tired of spinning our wheels. We're tired of the planning and the strategy, and not much trickles in. And we have every right to feel that way because there have been a lot of planets in retrograde, and we will still go into the new year with Mercury being in retrograde and Mars being in retrograde. And I'm sure I'm forgetting one or two there, but we want things to happen now, yesterday, an hour ago. It's like when the dealer said to me, "When would you like your F-150 to be ready?" And I said, "Oh, yesterday works out perfect for me," in a very monotone way. And I kind of went, "Oh, we can't do that." So I don't want to wait. So patience, right? And so we will have a little less patience, which may work towards us or work against us. We don't, or work for us or against us. That's to be determined on how you use the energy. But we are very spiritually connected when this card comes out. God, our angels, our spirit guides, the cosmos, the universe, that divine energy, your higher self. We can find the answers. We can get that aha moment, that epiphany. That miracle can happen in our lives just because we willed it, because we asked for it, we expressed it. And they hear us. Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles says, where is your focus? This could be a little bit more as the energy starts moving towards Capricorn and the Capricorn party does start to begin. The Seven of Pentacles is all about, we can't put a seed in the ground and then come back 6 months later and expect to have this robust plant, right? It's just not going to happen in the real world. What happens is it withers and dies, right? It had too much sun. It got too dry. There were rocks and pebbles. There was no nutrients in the soil. 1,001 things. There were weeds that overtook the garden, whatever, its space. So where is your focus? And where does it need to be? And really understanding that and aligning yourself throughout the first part of December, understanding that because the second part of December, once the sun moves into Capricorn and all the other planets, right? Mercury, Venus, we'll have the moon in there. We'll have Pluto's in there. It's a party happening. So then, of course, the sun is in there. So where is your focus will help us determine where we need to align our plans for the upcoming year, where we'll need to strategize some of our steps, where we will understand what we are responsible for, what our obligations are, and how to meet those responsibilities and obligations and find a grounded approach towards 2023. We'll do one more card here, and we have the Five of Cups. Now, what is going to really pull us down for the month of December, if we allow it, is looking at where in the past of where we failed, where we didn't give enough, where we didn't, maybe we said something or we didn't say something, maybe we should have had an action or maybe we shouldn't have done that action, and we berate ourselves and we pull ourselves down and we start to see not what we have in our life, but we're not seeing the cup half full as we do with the Sag energy. Capricorn is more of a reality check, and we start to see where the cup is half empty, right? So this is where we need to turn away from that energy. This is where when we start to get these thoughts of we didn't do, we didn't say, we should have, could have, might have, oh well, kind of energy, that we yell, stop, stop, delete, delete, no, no, cancel, cancel, whatever works for you. Use a phrase to stop your mind from thinking in that direction. Feel alive, turn around, stretch out, and see those cups standing straight up and empty and ready for you to fill. Okay, any great entrepreneur, any great scientist, any great mind knows that it's not failures, it's ways that it should not have been done. And once we have that knowledge, we can apply that knowledge to the next step. And we learn something more and we apply that to the next step. And we learn something more and we apply it to the next step. And before you know it, we are starting to gain a momentum. We are starting to move forward towards our best life ever. Okay, we will get a mantra card for the month of December. And we have money. Find a way to abundance. There you have it, money. Find a way to abundance. And so very much so, I mean, in December, I mean, we get that confidence, we get that optimism, we want to enjoy, we want to laugh, we want to feel alive. And then we go into Capricorn and we want to make that plan, we want to make that strategy to bring those things into our lives. And we know the world revolves around that almighty dollar. So we need the money maybe to purchase, the store space, or in order to go on that trip, or to buy that home, or to buy that car. And it all comes together. So money, finding your way to abundance for the month of December. Okay, so don't worry. You will find a solution to gain any money that you require. There is always a way to go forward. There is always a path ahead. Find your internal fortitude and guiding light to persist in moving forward and gaining abundance. Do the best you can with what you have because it's good enough. But look towards creating even more and more, bringing it in. The mantra is, I have faith that there is always a solution possible. I have faith that there is always a solution possible. So maybe, you go a little crazy on the Christmas. I know when the sun is in Sagittarius and we have all that energy in Sagittarius, we tend to spend a little bit more money than we plan. So it could very well be that we have to rein ourselves in. We have to understand. So in order to find our way to abundance, of course, then we start looking at our spending habits, right? We can't spend faster than we're making. So we have to bring in that balance. So it is a good reminder to each and every one of us that if we want to create the abundance in our life, then we need to keep the money that already exists in the bank for as long as possible. So what you have is good enough for the time being. You don't have to go to the extravagance, and that is a surefire way of creating more abundance in your life. Anyways, we will go to an animal card, and then we will go to a journey of love card. But it looks like we can have a very productive, a very strong, a very success-oriented month ahead of us. Be the heart-centered humanitarian. Know that right now your life is under construction. And so you're dreaming of the possibilities for the first half of the month, and then you are inciting a plan, a strategy, as the second part of the month unfolds in front of us. And we have the hummingbird, miracles. The hummingbird is here with miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Oh, I had it clear and then it went away. I moved. There we go. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. So once again, we're back to being the heart-centered humanitarian. So it's amazing how everything keeps leading us back to being the humanitarian, to have an empathy, to want to make the world a better place. Your personal world or the world at large. For each of us, it's a different path. And we will see what the journey of love has in store for us. Oh my goodness. These cards, when I did the new moon too, these cards they have a mind of their own. They want to pick. So let's let them pick before the whole deck goes flying everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay. Fire and ice, 37. 3 plus 7 is a 10. So luck, new beginnings, new starts, new chapters in our lives, new seasons to experience. So fire and ice, we will start with the poem, and then we will move in. I have to do it verbatim with this deck, because I tell you, it's just a beautifully mastered deck and booklet to go with it. So there is a beautiful silence now as I hold your hands and listen to your eyes. Across a span of moments called time, there are no words that say as much, nor walls that could confine the wings of our feelings or the rhyme of our eyes. You are learning to hold the tension of opposites, of those things that don't immediately seem to go together within your being, without collapsing into confusion, judgment, or denial. There is passion and serenity, creation and destruction, new life and death emerging within you, within your relationships. Sometimes this is hard to handle. We want to make things simpler, to just let go of conflict and complexity and choose one or the other. You are a grand enough soul to be able to withstand the rigors of depth, to go deep, to live fully, to let the divine have its way through you requires a willingness to stand at the center of the pairs of opposites and eventually know that they are connected to each other, that they exist only in relationship to each other, to breathe and simply be. If you are consciously feeling the conflict in your life, internally or externally, then you are being initiated through fire and ice. Stay present, be patient, and wait. There is nothing to fix here, just an awareness to step into the divine creation. It's a longer one. To continue to unfold through you. As you master the initiation, you will find a sweet nectar of bliss dripping within. This oracle brings you guidance that the conflict you feel within or externally is a sign of your spiritual growth. Soon you will grow larger than the conflict, but for now, you do not need to engage in it. Simply be present to it. Allow it to work its way through you until you are strong enough to have outgrown the conflict, giving rise to clear direction. It may seem impossible, beloved, but it's not. You are a vast being. Give yourself a chance to realize this and have patience. All is becoming, including you, according to the perfection of divine design. This oracle brings specific guidance on any relationship matter requiring a decision, until you have simple clarity in your heart, beyond the pushing away and pulling closer. Then it's time to wait, for there is more yet to be revealed. Only when your heart speaks clearly, then you will do well to act as feels truthful for you. So enjoy a beautiful month of December. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.